So I was helping a friend set up their new laptop last month, and they were super excited because they'd found this deal online that looked perfect for running security tools and virtual machines. The specs seemed solid, the price was right, and the reviews weren't terrible. Fast forward 2 weeks, and they're sitting there watching their system freeze up during a basic penetration testing exercise, wondering why their supposedly powerful machine can't handle what it's supposed to be built for. Turns out, not all laptops marketed for intensive tasks are actually configured to handle them, and understanding what you actually need versus what sounds impressive in a product description makes all the difference when you're spending serious money on hardware. If you've ever felt that same confusion trying to figure out which laptop actually delivers on its promises, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, because we're about to break down exactly what matters when choosing a laptop for ethical hacking, penetration testing, and cybersecurity work in 2026. I've put together links to all the laptops we're discussing today in the description below, so definitely check those out. And drop a comment letting me know what laptop or tech you're currently using and what you genuinely like or hate about it, because real experiences from actual users are worth more than any marketing copy you'll ever read. Understanding what hacking laptops actually need. Before we jump into specific models, let's talk about what ethical hacking and penetration testing actually demand from a laptop, because this context matters way more than just chasing the highest numbers on a spec sheet. When people talk about hacking laptops, they're usually referring to machines that can handle intensive multitasking with virtual machines, run specialized Linux distributions like Kali Linux smoothly, process encryption and password cracking operations, analyze network traffic in real time, and maintain performance during extended security audits. These aren't the same requirements as gaming or video editing, even though there's some overlap in the hardware that supports these tasks. The reason this matters is because you'll see marketing that tries to position almost any powerful laptop as suitable for cybersecurity work, but what actually makes a difference is the combination of processor threading capabilities, RAM capacity and speed, storage performance for handling large datasets, and in some cases, GPU acceleration for specific cryptographic operations. Display quality matters more than you might think too, because if you're spending hours reading terminal outputs and analyzing code, eye strain becomes a real productivity issue. And portability versus power is always a trade-off, especially if you're doing on-site security assessments where you can't always count on having a power outlet nearby. Number 1. Dell XPS 15 laptop. Starting at the top of our list, the Dell XPS 15 for 2026 comes equipped with Intel's Core Ultra 7 or Core Ultra 9 processors that include their AI Boost architecture paired with an NVIDIA RTX 5070 GPU, up to 64 gigabytes of LPDDR5X RAM, and up to 2 terabytes of NVMe solid-state storage. The display options include 3.2K or full 4K OLED panels at 15.6 inches, which sounds like overkill until you're actually working with multiple terminal windows and need that screen real estate and clarity. What makes the XPS 15 particularly relevant for security work is that RAM capacity and GPU combination. When you're running Hashcat for password cracking or working with CUDA accelerated tools like John the Ripper, having dedicated graphics processing makes operations that would take hours complete in minutes. The high RAM ceiling means you can spin up dozens of virtual machines simultaneously without watching your system grind to a halt, which is essential when you're testing across different operating systems or simulating network environments. Battery life is rated around 18 hours under normal use, and while intensive security operations will drain that faster, it's still impressive for fieldwork. The keyboard is genuinely comfortable for extended typing sessions, and the build quality feels premium in ways that matter when you're carrying expensive equipment to client sites. The downsides are pretty straightforward. This laptop starts at around $2,200, which puts it firmly in professional investment territory rather than hobbyist experimentation. Port selection is limited on the actual chassis, so you're probably going to need a USB hub to connect multiple devices during network assessments. And if you're someone who likes to upgrade components yourself down the line, the soldered RAM means what you buy is what you're stuck with, so you need to max out the configuration up front if you think you'll eventually need that capacity. Number 2. Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 12. Coming in at number 2, the Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 12 represents the business-focused approach to security work. With Intel's Core Ultra 7 155H processor, up to 32 GB of RAM, a 1 TB PCIe Gen 4 SSD, and Intel Arc integrated graphics, it's not going to win any GPU benchmarks, but that's not really the point of this machine. What the X1 Carbon delivers is legendary ThinkPad durability, weighing just 1.1 kilograms while including TPM 2.0, vPro with AI-powered threat detection, fingerprint authentication, and a physical privacy shutter for the webcam. For consultants conducting security audits at client sites, these enterprise security features and that military spec durability testing actually matter in daily use. The integrated neural processing unit supports AI-driven vulnerability scanning tools, and the 14-inch form factor is genuinely portable for frequent travel. At around $1,800, you're paying for reliability and security features rather than benchmark performance, but for professionals in corporate environments, those priorities make complete sense. The integrated GPU does limit heavy cryptographic cracking, so you'd pair this with cloud resources for those specific operations. But for reconnaissance, analysis, documentation, and most security assessment tasks, it's more than capable. Number 3, Asus ROG Zephyrus G14 gaming laptop. At number 3, the Asus ROG Zephyrus G14 represents what I'd call the sweet spot for many security professionals and serious enthusiasts. The 2026 GA403 model includes AMD's Ryzen AI processor, an RTX 5060 GPU, and that gorgeous Nebula HDR OLED display running at 1100 nits with G-Sync support. The slim design incorporates a tri-fan cooling system that keeps thermals manageable even when you're running intensive tools like Metasploit or Wireshark for extended periods. What makes the G14 particularly appealing is that it doesn't compromise much despite being more portable than traditional gaming laptops. The OLED display genuinely makes a difference for extended work sessions because the color accuracy and contrast reduce eye fatigue compared to standard IPS panels. Wi-Fi 7 support means you're future-proofed for wireless assessments as networks continue upgrading. The GPU acceleration helps with forensics work and any machine learning applications you might be running for threat detection or pattern analysis. Starting around $1,900, it's positioned where serious buyers can justify the investment without needing enterprise budgets. Battery life does drop under heavy loads, but that's physics rather than poor engineering, and it's manageable if you plan accordingly. Number 4, HP Omen 16 gaming laptop. Number 4 on our list is the HP Omen 16, which positions itself as the entry point into dedicated GPU territory for security work. With options for Intel Core Ultra 9 or AMD Ryzen 7 processors, RTX 5060 or 5070 GPUs delivering 8 to 12 teraflops of compute, up to 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and HP's Omen AI optimization that automatically tunes system performance, you're getting solid capability for around $1,400 to start. The AI optimization actually works reasonably well for maximizing performance during intensive simulations or cracking operations. Storage is upgradable, which matters when you're collecting large packet captures or working with substantial datasets. The build quality uses more plastic than premium models, which is how they hit this price point, but it's not flimsy. The 1080p display delivers solid performance, and the RGB keyboard adds some personality without being obnoxious. For someone stepping up from integrated graphics or building their first serious security testing rig, this represents solid value without feeling like a compromise on core capabilities. The main trade-off is that plastic construction, but if you're prioritizing performance per dollar over premium materials, the Omen 16 makes a lot of sense. Number 5, Razer Blade 14 gaming laptop. At number 5, the Razer Blade 14 takes a different approach to premium performance by packing high-end components into a genuinely compact form factor. The 2026 model features AMD's Ryzen AI 9 HX365 processor with 10 cores, an RTX 5070 GPU running at 115 watts, 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD, all in a chassis that's significantly smaller and lighter than most gaming laptops. For security professionals who travel frequently or need to work in space-constrained environments, this combination of power and portability is legitimately valuable. The cooling system in the Blade 14 is engineered to stay relatively quiet even under sustained loads, which matters more than you might think if you're working in shared spaces or conducting security assessments where you don't want to draw attention. The RTX 5070 handles CUDA operations exceptionally well, and the processor threading is ideal for virtualization workloads. The build quality is genuinely premium, with a CNC aluminum chassis that feels solid without being unnecessarily heavy. You're looking at around $2,700 for this configuration, and the main trade-off is battery life, which drops noticeably when you're running GPU-intensive operations unplugged. But for professionals who need maximum capability and minimum space, it's one of the best options available right now. Number 6. MSI Creator A16 AI Plus RTX 4060. Coming in at number 6, the MSI Creator A16 AI Plus represents an interesting crossover between content creation and security work. Featuring AMD's Ryzen AI 9 processor with 12 cores, RTX 4060 or 5060 GPU with ray tracing, a 16-inch QHD Plus display running at 240 Hz with IPS or mini LED options, and up to 32 GB of RAM, this laptop is designed for people who need to balance multiple intensive workflows. Starting around $1,800, that actually describes many security professionals who also create documentation, training videos, or demonstration content. The DLSS support helps with ray-traced simulations, which has applications in certain forensics scenarios, and the display options give you flexibility between color accuracy and refresh rate depending on your priorities. It's not the absolute best at any single thing, but if you're splitting time between security work and content creation, the versatility justifies the positioning. The GPU sits in the mid-tier for ultra-intensive tasks, so set your expectations accordingly. But for most real-world security operations, paired with documentation and presentation work, it handles the combination smoothly. The larger screen real estate is genuinely helpful when you're managing multiple windows or working with detailed visualizations. Number 7, Lenovo V-Series V15 Business Laptop. At number 7, we're moving into more budget-conscious territory with the Lenovo V15 series, which represents the Budget King approach. With configurations ranging from AMD Ryzen 3 to Ryzen 7 or even Intel Pentium options, 16 to 40 GB of RAM, 512 to 1 TB SSDs, a 15.6-inch Full HD display, Windows 11 Pro, and actual Ethernet ports, this laptop is designed for entry-level work. For under $600, you can set up a machine that handles entry-level scripting, light virtual machine work, and training environments without feeling completely underpowered. The display and build quality are basic, and you're not going to be cracking complex passwords or running dozens of simultaneous VMs. But for learning fundamentals, practicing on intentionally vulnerable machines, or doing basic network reconnaissance, this gets you into the game. The business-oriented ports are actually useful for network testing, and the upgradability means you can improve it over time as budget allows. Windows 11 Pro includes features that educational users and professionals might need, and having that Ethernet port matters more than you think when you're doing network-level security testing. This isn't a machine for professional penetration testers, but for students, hobbyists, or people exploring whether cybersecurity is the right career path, it provides an accessible starting point.
Number 8 brings us to the HP Omnibook 5 16-inch Copilot Plus laptop, which takes a slightly different approach with Intel Core Ultra 5 or Ultra 7 processors, 16 GB of LPDDR5X RAM, a 512 GB SSD, a 16-inch 2K IPS display at 300 nits brightness, and Microsoft's Copilot AI integration. Around $1,000 positions it between budget and mid-range, and the Copilot features can actually assist with code generation and security analysis if you're comfortable working within Microsoft's ecosystem. Battery life is genuinely good for mobile security audits, and the larger, brighter screen is easier on the eyes than cheaper panels. The 2K resolution gives you enough screen real estate to work comfortably without the performance hit of full 4K, and that 300 nit brightness means you can work in various lighting conditions without constantly adjusting. You're still working with integrated graphics, so plan accordingly for your workloads, but for mobile professionals who prioritize battery life and a quality display over GPU performance, it's worth considering. The Eco certification appeals to buyers who care about environmental impact, and the overall package feels more premium than the price suggests. Number 9, Asus ROG Strix G16 RTX 4060. At number 9, the Asus ROG Strix G16 offers a different balance point with Intel Core i7 or i9 processors, an RTX 4060 GPU with ray tracing and DLSS support, and a 16-inch QHD display running at 240Hz refresh rate. The Nebula display technology and tri-fan cooling system keep performance consistent during GPU-intensive password cracking operations, and Wi-Fi 6E provides solid wireless penetration testing capabilities. Around $1,600 to start, it's more accessible than the higher-tier options, while still delivering legitimate performance for demanding security work. The high refresh rate display might seem unnecessary for security work, but it actually makes a difference when you're quickly scanning through large amounts of text or terminal output, because the smoothness reduces eye strain. The cooling system is genuinely effective, and the laptop maintains performance during extended operations without thermal throttling. The trade-off is size and weight, as this is definitely a desktop replacement rather than an ultra-portable, but if you're primarily working from a fixed location or don't mind carrying a larger bag, the performance per dollar is genuinely competitive. The upgradable storage means you can expand capacity as your dataset collections grow. Number 10, Acer Aspire 5 Laptop. Rounding out our list at number 10, the Acer Aspire 5 sits in similar budget-friendly territory with an Intel Core i7 1355U processor, 16GB of RAM, a 512GB SSD, 15.6-inch Full HD IPS display, Wi-Fi 6E, and Intel Iris Xe integrated graphics. Starting around $700, it's positioned as the value pick for beginners who want something that feels responsive for daily use while handling Kali Linux, browsing exploit databases, and light multitasking. The SSD makes the system feel quick in normal operation, and it's upgradable if you want to expand storage or RAM later. There's no dedicated GPU, so forget about GPU-accelerated cracking, but for learning security concepts and practicing techniques, it's genuinely adequate. The IPS display provides better viewing angles than cheaper TN panels, and Wi-Fi 6E support means you're working with current wireless standards. Think of it as the machine you learn on before deciding whether to invest in more specialized hardware. It handles the basics well, doesn't feel frustratingly slow for everyday tasks, and provides a solid foundation for understanding what you'll actually need as your skills develop. Making your decision. Here's what actually matters when you're choosing from these options. First, be honest about your actual use case and skill level right now, not where you hope to be eventually. If you're learning cybersecurity fundamentals or working through online courses, spending $3,000 on hardware you won't fully utilize for years doesn't make financial sense. Start with something adequate that lets you learn and upgrade later when you understand your specific needs better. Second, RAM and storage matter more for most security work than GPU performance, unless you're specifically doing cryptographic operations that benefit from CUDA acceleration. Most penetration testing, reconnaissance, and vulnerability assessment work relies more on multitasking capability and storage speed than graphics horsepower. If you're choosing between more RAM or a better GPU, prioritize RAM for virtualization, unless you know you'll be doing substantial password cracking. Third, consider your actual working environment. If you're doing on-site assessments, portability and battery life matter significantly. If you're working from a fixed location, you can optimize for performance and value over weight and battery. And if you're in enterprise environments, security features like TPM, biometric authentication, and firmware protection might be requirements rather than nice-to-haves. Fourth, don't ignore display quality and keyboard comfort if you're spending hours daily on security work. Eye strain and hand fatigue are real productivity killers, and a mediocre display or uncomfortable keyboard will annoy you every single day you use the machine. Read reviews that specifically address these aspects, and if possible, try the keyboard in person before buying. Finally, check return policies and warranty terms carefully, especially when buying online. Most manufacturers offer 30-day return windows, but some retailers have shorter periods or charge restocking fees. Extended warranties might make sense for expensive hardware you're depending on professionally, but read what's actually covered, because many warranties exclude damage from normal use or accidents. Keep your purchase documentation and understand the process for returns or warranty service before you need it.
So the reality is that there's no single perfect laptop for everyone doing security work, because people's specific needs, budgets, working environments, and skill levels vary significantly. What works brilliantly for an experienced penetration tester doing client assessments won't be the right choice for someone just starting to learn Kali Linux in their spare time. The laptops we've discussed today represent solid options across different price points and use cases, but your specific situation determines which one actually makes sense for you. Take time to research beyond just one video or one review source. Check multiple professional reviews, read user experiences in cybersecurity forums, and verify specifications directly from manufacturers, because retailer listings sometimes contain errors or outdated information. And remember that technology keeps evolving, so while these are strong choices for 2026, staying informed about new releases and price changes helps you make the best decision for your timing and budget. Smart buying comes from understanding what you actually need and doing enough research to feel confident in your choice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.